Welcome to our sports show and the game of the week, now in its 25th year. This week is the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Football Playoffs, presented by Farmers Insurance. The Hughson Huskies take on the Argonaut Mustangs at Argonaut with your sportscasters Jim Vinciguerra and Frank Halverson.
When you buy your tires at Jackson Tire Service, safety and satisfaction are guaranteed, along with the best, friendliest service from experienced, knowledgeable tire professionals who take pride in the work they perform. Locally owned and operated since 1973, Jackson Tire leads in community involvement in both Amador and Calaveras counties. For your next set of tires, wheels, brake shocks, struts, mufflers, or wheel alignment, come to the best tire and brake store in town, Jackson Tire and Jackson Tire Pine Grove. And thank you for shopping locally with us. You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.
Hi everybody, Jim Vinciguerra along with Frank Halverson welcoming you to TSPN's Game of the Week. It's the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tire Football Playoffs presented by Farmers Insurance. Tonight we're at Argonaut High School where the 10-0 Mustangs take on the 6-4 Hughson Huskies. This local television coverage is proudly brought to you by your overall sponsor, Jackson Tire Service, your Goodyear tire dealer on Highway 49, in front of the Sears store in Jackson and in Pine Grove near the post office. The journey begins on the wings of Goodyear. And our quarter sponsors, All Sierra Roof Company, Tim Thornhill, your local full-service Owens Corning Platinum Preferred roofing contractor. For the right roof, start with the right contractor. Also, it's Camps Propane for exceptional energy. They're your friendly, dependable local propane company. Visit their showroom on Highway 88 at Red Corral Road in Pioneer. Also, the American Legion Amador Post 108, proud to be involved and supportive in our community. They're veterans still serving America. Also, Hospice of Amador and Calaveras, providing hospice care for terminally ill patients in our community. You can support them by shopping and donating at the local hospice thrift stores. Well, Frank, 10-0 Mustangs come into tonight, first round of the CIF playoffs against a, on paper, 6-4, not a great record, but I tell you, Hughson Huskies coming in with big numbers tonight.
Well, I got to tell you, Hughson comes in tonight as a number 15 seed, but in all the years that we've been doing playoff action, this is probably the toughest number 15 seed that I've seen. You know, they come in tonight with their quarterback, number 11, Kyle Curley, 946 yards rushing this year. Now, I got to tell you, if you like passing, you're probably not going to like this game a lot because both teams like to pound the ball. The big runner for Hughson, number 2, Tanner Duran, 1,694 yards on the ground with 22 touchdowns. He's quick, he runs hard, and this is going to be good. Now, when you look at the 6-4 record, you have to look at the opponents.
Who they played, that's right.
They lost 4 very good opponents. They lost to Escalon. They lost to Ripon, the number 3 seed in the tournament. They lost to Somerville by 1 point, 35-34, and they also lost, I'm trying to think of the other loss they had. Let me look real quick. They lost to Modesto Christian in a game they should have lost 30-28. All of those teams are in the playoffs. But there again, let's talk about Argonaut. Argonaut comes into this game, I mean, with this absolute defense that has allowed less than 80 points to their opponents through the whole season. The first 10-0 team ever in the history of Argonaut High School and or Jackson High School, the first undefeated team since 1957. So congratulations to these Mustangs, but I tell you what, this section tournament this year is as tough as I've seen, and I'll give you a little bracketology here. We talked about last week how things lined up, but what happened, predictions didn't go according to Hoyle, and there were 2 teams that were supposed to win and didn't. What that did was that eliminated them from playoff competition because you have to qualify for playoffs with a minimum of 2 league wins. With Colfax losing, and I don't remember who the other team is, it dropped 2 Division III teams down. One that took over the number 1 seed in Division IV, which was Placer, that came in at 10-0, and the other is Center, that came in as the number 10 seed, who if Argonaut were to win tonight and Center beats Dixon tonight, Center would be here playing Argonaut next week. So this is a very, very tough playoff bracket for Division IV. you know, the defense needs to show up strong tonight, and they need to run the ball hard, and they can't shoot themselves in the foot like they did last week.
Well, last week we were going to bring that up, Frank, and Argonaut did not bring their A game to the big game. Got out by the skin of their teeth with a 1-point victory, 14-13. And if they bring that game tonight, we're in for a long night.
Well, you know, we saw them put the ball on the ground last week like we hadn't seen all year long, and we also saw more penalties committed by Argonaut than they had in any 2 games combined during the year. That really stopped their momentum on drives several times, and it ended up a big 4th down catch on 4th down that Merriman pulled in, kept that game alive, which allowed them to go down and for Hayes finally to punch it in with a minute and a half left in that game to preserve that 10-0 season.
Yeah, I know. When you went down to present the Rotary Trophy last week, I said if it wasn't for Merriman in that 4th quarter, there would have been a one-loss season for him. But anyway.
Well, if you remember, that whole thing started with a kickoff return on a punt return. Merriman had a big punt return that put him down in good field position, but it still took that big 4th down completion in order to keep the chains moving, and they were able to pull it out. Regardless of how they did it, 10-0 is 10-0. It's never been done in the history. Congratulations to the Mustangs.
It's in the books.
It's in the books, and this one's going to be a good one tonight.
Okay, stay tuned. We're going to have the kickoff right after these messages, and we'll tee it up for the CIF Section Playoffs Division 4.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.